USD 393 update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Solomon State Bank, with locations in Solomon, Abilene, and Salina. Go Gorillas! Solomon State Bank, member FDIC. Bush's Market in Solomon, your hometown market supporting the Solomon School District and the community. City of Solomon. The City of Solomon is a huge supporter of USD 393 and all it does for our community. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome to the new year here at Solomon Schools. Welcome to the January edition of the USD 393 update. We'd like to thank Eagle Communications for putting this on each and every month, as we're excited to bring you into our school to experience what's happening here at Solomon Schools. Today you're going to learn a little bit about our wellness policy, grant writing, and then we're going to end with a feature on our jazz band. And so you're going to get a chance to experience the wonderful sounds of Solomon Schools Band. Until then, we will be talking a little bit about the legislature and the upcoming things that are going to happen in Topeka. This is an exciting session, as every January comes the start of a new year with the legislators in Topeka. We want you to be very active in your community and supporting local education. We think it's so important that we get our voice out there on what needs to happen to support local education and giving you, the taxpayers of our community, the option to voice your opinions on what happens here at Solomon Schools. So important that we reach out to our legislators who are up there on our behalf and support them, and understanding that it's important that they support things that happen here locally and that it will affect our kids. So we ask that you reach out to your legislatures with your opinions and give your support for local education. When we come back, I'm going to be, with me will be our PE teacher. She's also a grant writer, Kelly Cope, and also with me will be the junior senior high school principal, Dustin Dooley. We're going to discuss a little bit about our wellness plan and the grant writing, what's happening here at Solomon Schools. So stay right there. Welcome back. With me I have Kelly Cope, a PE teacher in our elementary school, as well as she's doing some other things with our grant writing, and Dustin Dooley, junior senior high school principal. At this time, we're going to sort of shift gears and talk a little bit about, with the funding the way it is in schools, we've got to look at other ways to create some revenue. And with that, without grants and gifts, sometimes the extras don't happen. And we're not talking making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but our grant writing efforts allow us to do things that maybe we continued 5-10 years ago, and they just aren't there because they've been cut out of the budget, but they are directly affect our students. And so we're going to talk a little bit about grant writing, and with me is Kelly Cope, and she is doing some of our grant writing. She teaches all of our elementary PE as well as doing some grant writing. So Ms. Cope, tell me a little bit about the grant writing process and what you've done this year.
Well, the grant process kind of starts with the teachers, because I don't really know what they want until they come and tell me. So once I find out what projects that they want to incorporate into their curriculum, then we go search for a grant that kind of goes along with it. Or they may even have a grant that they know about, and then we try to communicate the who, what, when, why, where, what, how type aspect, and just communicate that with me so I can communicate that with the grant provider.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your schedule, because you're doing elementary PE and grant writing. So you might explain to everybody how that actually works.
I see my PE classes on Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. And then I have a health class for my K-3 students on my Tuesday, Thursday, every other Friday schedule. So in the 3 hours I don't have health classes, I'm doing spending my time with the grant writing.
So when we talk about trying to do more with less, this is an example of that, where we've got to be creative and finding ways. Back in the day, schools had their own grant writers. Well, we can't afford to have a full-time grant writer, so now we've got to look at ways to sort of incorporate classroom teachers into maybe helping us to do that. And so this was one of those where we had to find a way to create a grant writer. So because of that, obviously we hope that because we write grants, we receive grants. So tell me a little bit about how much in grants have we received so far, dollar-wise?
Dollar-wise, first semester we received anywhere between $13,000 and $14,000.
So $13,000 and $14,000 the very first semester.
Right.
And so that is money that we were not experiencing or would have even thought about at the very beginning of the year. So that money is going directly back to our students and to our staff. So tell me a little bit about what is that $13,000 and $14,000 going for? What are some of the grants that you've received?
Several grants we received have just been local grants to help support our classroom, just initiatives, classroom instruction. We just received one right before Christmas break that's going to work with our high school students on a kind of a wellness initiative that we have going on. And then again, pretty much that same day we found out that we received a grant from the Community Foundation of Dickinson County that we received some money to help bring in a mobile STEM lab from Greenbush that's going to benefit not only our Solomon students K through 12, but it's also going to benefit other students from Dickinson County schools.
We were so excited before Christmas. That was a Christmas present to us because the mobile STEM lab, STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And all those, when you put STEM together, all those different labs, we're hoping will create interest. And if you can create interest, then that will allow them to hopefully look at those careers down the road. And so we're so excited because without that money, that grant from the Dickinson County Foundation was $8,500.
Yes.
And so that $8,500, there's no way in our budget at the times that we're in schools and finance, there is no way we would have been able to budget that or allocate that money for this opportunity for kids. So it is, we thank the Dickinson County Community Foundation for doing that. That is so awesome. That's going to go to them. Not only is it going to go to our kids,
Yes.
we also wrote the grant to where it's going to provide an opportunity. I'll let you elaborate on that.
Well, we wrote the grant not only to benefit our Solomon kids, but we also are trying to reach out to all the other 4 Dickinson County schools of Harrington, Chapman, Abilene, and Hope to try to get those kids to come in and experience some of the STEM lab as well.
So one of the great things about that is that it sets up, and it's going to be basically for 3 weeks in a couple classrooms here at Solomon, to where everyone will have the opportunity in all the Dickinson County schools, if they so desire, to come in there, and that's what that money's being used for,
Right.
is to support those efforts. And so, when you start hearing about legislators saying they're not consolidating and looking at different efforts and trying to raise funds and bring them in together to provide the needs of students, this is an example where without the foundation, we are actually pooling that money together to reach out to all of Dickinson County students. And so we're excited at that opportunity. And so when you're out there, and we talked about it earlier, and you're talking to your legislators, this is a prime example of all of our schools coming together to reach out to everyone in Dickinson County.
Right.
So we want to thank Ms. Cope for all of her efforts in making that happen. And then the other part, and you heard her talk about a little bit, the high school grant, to where it's going to help with some wellness. And so every so many years, we're audited on our wellness committee and with our food service program. And so tell us a little bit about the wellness policy and what it all entails.
Our wellness policy, we were required in 2006 to have a policy established, and over the last several years we've kind of fallen behind on that we haven't really been in compliance at all. So this year our committee refocused and decided that it is a priority for our school. So we got together and kind of rewrote our policy a little bit, focusing on trying to incorporate more physical activity in our school day. With adding not brain breaks, because that term's been thrown around a lot. We're going to try to do more brain boost, to try to even 2 or 3 minute just quick activities in the classroom, since kids have been sitting for a while. And we're going to try to implement a staff wellness policy. We're trying to focus on not having recess being used as punishment, or even physical education classes being removed from those classes as punishment. Like I said, we want to try to have kids be active. And then removing our sugary drinks and our high-calorie snack foods, as kids are starting to bring those into the school. So we've created a policy to try to get those removed out of the school.
Well, those are a lot of things going on. And so with that, of course, then there's the implementation of the wellness policy. So as we switch gears here and hand the microphone across, as you try to implement a policy that affects all of your student body, there's always those that might challenge those efforts a little bit, meaning the shift to the seventh grade through the 12th graders. And so it's a little bit of a different shift for them, meaning we're taking away the sugary drinks, pop. We're taking away the donuts that they might bring to school, and we're taking away the monster drinks that they're bringing to school. So with that, we sort of, as we start the new year, we're starting the new policy, and so there's some changes there. So with me now is Mr. Dustin Dooley, our junior senior high school principal, and so tell us a little bit about those changes and what those might look like.
Yeah, I would probably say that the biggest change that's going to affect our junior, senior high school students is a positive change, and that's the second breakfast or the snack bar that we've incorporated in between second and third period. So basically in this room where we're at right now, our students have the opportunity to come down and use their lunch credit to buy breakfast that morning. As with every other school, we do offer breakfast before school. However, a lot of our students don't take advantage of that opportunity to either eat breakfast at home or eat breakfast here at school. So that second breakfast or that snack is a healthy, a healthy meal for them. So that way that they're focused and full and able to learn the rest of the day. And it's not just a breakfast, but there's some a la carte items that students can get as well. So we had an assembly earlier this week to kind of kick off our new wellness policy, and one of the alarming trends I saw as I asked students, how many of you didn't eat breakfast this morning? Probably 3/4 of our students raised their hands. And our goal in education is to make sure that they're learning the required curriculum, and we all know, even as adults, it's hard to do that. It's hard to stay focused, hard to learn when you're hungry. So that is a great opportunity for our students to take advantage of. As far as the other portions of the policy, it's a little more kind of compliance as far as my responsibility to make sure that students aren't having pop and monster drinks, and also staff as well. So that's something that we're keeping an eye on. I would say for the most part, our students have been very receptive to it. It's an educational opportunity. They need to understand that those types of drinks, those types of foods aren't necessarily the best for them, and that we're providing other healthier options for them. So it's been a great start so far.
Yeah, because you talk about the healthy options, and behind us here is a change from when most of us went to school. In the vending machine right now, you cannot buy, you can't buy anything with basically a high calorie or high sugar intake. And so you're looking at nothing but juices that have low sugar. There's no pop in here. There hasn't been. There's not even Gatorade, because Gatorade it has too much sugar and is too high in calories. Then you go over to the vending machine itself, and you're looking at, there's not a candy bar one in there. You're talking about healthy snacks. Some people have mixed emotions about that, but if you think about it, the sugar high, we're all excited and we're fired up, and then all of a sudden we come off the crash, and then we go to the high, and then we go to the crash. And so what we were seeing is people were coming in with sugary breakfasts such as donuts, honey buns, things like that. And so how many this first week that we've put it in, how many people have taken part in the second breakfast?
I would say, whenever you have a new shift, it kind of has to gradually increase. First day we had about 25, and then each day it's gotten a little bit more. Finally, we had a breakfast burrito as our second breakfast today, and we had over 50 students take part in that, getting a second breakfast, and it might have been more. I didn't count each and every one of them. So it's something that I think our students, they understand that. We're taking some things away from them, but they also understand that we're trying to provide other options that are more healthier for them. So I think overall they're responding.
The way I
really
look
well.
at it is that you get 50 people who are taking advantage of second breakfast. And then we have our first breakfast that starts at 7:30, and so we have those that eat at 7:30, those that are eating at second breakfast, and so now 50 new people are eating breakfast. And like we talked about before, almost 3/4 of them didn't even eat breakfast. So we're hoping that by doing that, now we're basically the most lowest level of needs is met, which is food. And so now we're ready to become learners in the classroom. And it's amazing how that has changed over time. Our lives are so busy and so hectic. If you've ever been in the building in the morning or at home in the morning, there's several times where people just grab and go, and they're grabbing non-healthy choices. And sometimes they don't even grab anything. And that's adults. So you can only imagine as students how that happens and how they stay focused in the classroom. So we're hoping that this change is a positive one. We're so excited about it. It's a la carte, to where you can buy on the side. You can also charge it to your own meal account. And if you're on free or reduced, it's actually a federal reimbursable. And so we're excited about that opportunity for our kids as well. That's it for this section. We're so excited about the changes in our wellness policy. I'm so excited that Mrs. Cope and Mr. Dooley were here today to explain with you a little bit about those changes. And the best part, not that these two weren't very good at what they did, but the best part is we're going to talk and see the students live in action. So stay put, because here comes our jazz band next. Welcome back to another exciting segment of the USD 393 update. With me is Caleb Smith, our instrumental music instructor, as well as junior high and senior high choir instructor. The unique thing about Caleb is he came back home. He's a Solomon Gorilla, true and true. He graduated from Solomon High School, and we're excited to have him come back. He's in his second year of teaching here at Solomon, and he is doing a great job with our music program. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our music program right now with Caleb, and then at the very end, you'll get a chance to see our jazz band live and in action. So first off, Caleb, tell me a little bit about the instrumental program, and when do we start our instrumental?
So for the instrument side of it, we start with the fifth grade class in the elementary. Gets the opportunity to come in, try some new instruments that first day. Pretty much all of them have had no band experience, at least with a lot of the instruments. They don't know what a lot of them are, so I got to talk to them about what each of the instruments are, and we try out a few of them and see kind of which fits best for them. And from then on, if they agree with it, they go out and get an instrument or borrow one from the school, and kind of grow from there. They're not limited to that instrument. We many of the students throughout their time here kind of learn a few, but that's kind of how it all starts.
That's a good point. So if I get it, if I decide I want to do the trumpet, and then I don't like the trumpet, and I want to go to maybe a saxophone, do I have to go out and buy a trumpet, or how does that work for us here?
Yeah, we don't. We partner here at the school with Midwest Music in Salina, and so what they do is they come out and we have a band day at the beginning of the school year, and he comes out and he talks to all the parents. We invite all the parents out to come talk with him, and he talks to them about prices on renting instruments, on purchasing instruments if it's something their kid is knows that they want to play for a long time. They might purchase it there, but he encourages them usually to rent it for a while and kind of get a feel for it, as well as we have some school instruments that we lend out occasionally. We like the kids to get their own instruments for a responsibility piece.
It goes back to that character piece, where you got to take responsibility for something that is of huge value. If it's yours, you're going to take care of it a little bit better than if it's not yours.
Definitely, yes.
So if I'm a fifth grade or fourth grade parent, which I am, and a little nervous out there as I'm watching this and going, okay, I don't know what I really want to do. There's no reason to panic, because you explained that we have a band day, and they're going to have time to explore what options they want to do. So tell me, from fifth grade to sixth grade, what's the biggest jump?
Fifth grade to sixth grade. Well, when you're playing in band, the biggest thing I tell them on the first day is be ready to be frustrated. Be ready. It's a difficult thing. It's basically like learning a new language. And if you've ever tried to do that, it can be frustrating at times. It can give you a headache at times. But once you get to the point where you're wanting to go, once you make those goals come true, then it's all worth it in the end. So I tell them you really got to stick with it, have to do a lot of persevering through some of the tough times.
Exactly. So for our parents out there, the pain that they hear in their ears in fifth grade will not continue in sixth grade, and that is so very true. Caleb, at the Christmas concert, we got tons of compliments because our band, our fifth grade and sixth grade band, sounded amazing for a fifth and sixth grade band. More parents and community members came up and said, my ears did not hurt, which is the biggest form of a compliment you can give to a fifth and sixth grade band and their instructor. So as we shift gears now, let's talk a little bit about our high school instrumental band. We have two different bands. We have our regular band and we have our jazz band. What separates the two, and can you be involved in both?
It really is kind of difficult to say what exactly separates the two. Concert band it plays more classical music. All the notes are really straight, and you count them just how they would teach them. The thing that separates jazz band from concert band, though, is usually mostly the rhythms. They change a lot of things in the rhythms with, like, they swing notes and things like that in a lot of pieces, as well as improvising, which is basically soloing without reading music, so coming up with notes off the top of your head, as well as in jazz music, you're going to see more syncopated rhythms, which is just basically tough rhythms that you don't see a lot of in concert music. When it all began, it was really they were trying to turn concert music into give it more of a popular feel, and that's kind of how jazz started. And so you'll hear more pop tunes in jazz band as well. So.
Okay. Well, you heard that noise right there, which is a bell. So welcome to school, everyone. But with that means we're getting ready for our jazz band to get ready to start. So when we come back, you're going to get the opportunity to see our jazz band live and in action. So stay put as we get ready for the jazz band. We'll be right back. Without further ado, I present to you the Solomon Jazz Band. great job. That's the way to end a segment at Solomon Schools Update. These guys and gals did a tremendous job, and I couldn't think of a better way to end this month's segment of Eagle Communications USD 393 Update. See you back here next month.
USD 393 Update on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Solomon State Bank, with locations in Solomon, Abilene, and Salina. Go Gorillas! Solomon State Bank, member FDIC. Bush's Market in Solomon, your hometown market supporting the Solomon School District and the community. City of Solomon. The City of Solomon is a huge supporter of USD 393 and all it does for our community. And Eagle Communications, our community connected.